It should be quick, right?
That's what we always do.
All right. Did I just jinx it?
I was gonna say, you better knock on wood. I don't know.
Local government work is never quick.
Well, I thought we were originally gonna hear the food hall, but I heard that's next meeting?
It is, they haven't resubmitted yet. So
Oh, no.
it's not next meeting.
Oh.
It is whenever we get to it.
I was hoping that you're on the agenda.
Okay. Well, I think those of us who are coming are going to be here, so
Recording in progress.
I'll call to order a regular meeting of the planning commission. Perhaps we could do a roll call.
Chairman Harper,
Here.
Vice Chair, I need to fix this, Mojo,
Here.
Commissioner Vaughn,
Here.
Commissioner Whitty, Commissioner Barnes,
Here.
Commissioner Gordon, Commissioner Gross, Commissioner Shanahan.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Here.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is public comment on the consent agenda presentation or non-agenda items. If anybody wants to speak on the subject of the public hearing, which is amending the lighting code, we'll have a public hearing and you can comment at that time. There being we have nobody in the town hall, but we have two people on Zoom. So if you would like to speak on something other than the lighting, please raise your hand. I have two hands raised.
I just gave Marina, you should be able to speak.
Marina, we think you're online.
Oh, she's gone.
She's gone.
No,
Oh, there you are. There.
hi, except that I do want to talk about the lighting, so should I wait?
Yes, you should wait.
Yes, I think that would be right. No?
Thank you.
And
And
Mr. Welch? Do
Hey,
you,
all, can you hear me?
yes. Do
Hey,
you want to speak about the lighting or something else?
No, I just wanted to really introduce myself. I've been at the last few meetings and I've been here sort of lurking just because I'm got my application in to join the group, and I'll be
okay.
interviewing on March 9th to to see if I get the position. But I've been attending the last few meetings and I've enjoyed watching you go through the comprehensive plan. That's been a major task. So anyway, I'm here just to watch and learn and absorb. So appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for your interest. We appreciate it too. Okay. So that covers that item. Item 3 is approval of the minutes of the Planning Commission, for which we have 2 meetings. Would somebody like to move approval of the minutes for January the 20th?
Sure. I'll make a motion to approve the January 20th, 2026 Planning Commission minutes.
Second?
Do we need a roll call on that?
yes.
Yes. Okay. Maybe we could have a roll call then.
Chairman Harper,
Yes.
Vice Chair Mojo,
Yes.
Commissioner Vaughn,
Yes.
Commissioner Barnes,
Yes.
Commissioner Mojo.
Oh,
Oh, Vice, I already said that. Sorry. I'm going in wrong. I need to rearrange this. Commissioner Shanahan.
Yes.
There we go. Okay.
What was it they said in Chicago? Vote early, vote often.
No, you only get one vote. Thank you.
Okay, and secondly, we have the minutes of our meeting from February the 3rd.
I'll make a motion to approve the February 3rd, 2026 minutes for the Planning Commission.
Second.
Roll call?
Chairman Harper,
Yes.
Vice Chair Mojo,
Yes.
Commissioner Vaughn,
Yes.
Commissioner Barnes,
Yes.
Commissioner Shanahan.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, moving right along, the next item is the public hearing on an ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Superior, amending various sections of Chapter 16 of the Superior Municipal Code regarding exterior lighting standards. Is there proof of publication?
Yes.
Good. In that case, I'll open this public hearing. Do you have a presentation, Renee?
I'm just going to use the ordinance itself and my cover memo. I have them both up for reference.
Okay.
We're here this evening to discuss an ordinance amending Chapter 16 regarding exterior or outdoor lighting standards. The purpose of this is to update the language to provide specific language that relates to the amount of light permitted to trespass over a property line. It also is eliminating the separation of our outdoor or exterior lighting standards that are throughout the code, and then it moves all of the exterior lighting requirements into what this one section, 16-20-30. The ordinance itself in 16-20-30 goes through a purpose, several definitions that talk about hours, what luminaire is, non-essential lighting. Then there's an applicability section that talks about things that are exempt from the lighting standards. And then there's the lighting standards itself, talking about how to measure the lighting at a property line, how many lumens there should be in outdoor lighting fixtures, where lighting fixtures should be located on buildings, the direction of the light that comes out of those fixtures that are on buildings or outside, I should say. And then it describes exactly how much light is permitted to pass at a property line at a particular height, which is 5 feet or 1.5 meters above grade. And then the final section is legal non-conforming situations. So any existing fixtures that are installed today are exempt from these requirements. And then they'll need to be brought into compliance upon replacement of those fixtures over time. And that is really all I have. It's fairly simple in its the way it's written, and the purpose is really just to make it simple, concise, and measurable, because our current code is not. It doesn't provide specific light level requirements or a measurable location to take a measurement. It doesn't have those guidelines written into it, so it's difficult unless the light is a spotlight that's lighting into an adjacent property. It's really difficult to enforce the existing code the way it's written.
I was just going to ask, are you getting a lot of complaints about this?
There have been complaints about this over the course of the last year. We've had several different instances of people complaining about exterior lighting fixtures of neighboring properties. So it's been in the works for a while, and we're bringing it to you now that we've drafted it, and we're doing a bunch of code updates kind of all in a series here over our last meeting, this meeting, and I think there's one more coming to you at the next meeting. So.
Does your ordinance, do the standards for that follow guidelines from another community or international standards or anything?
Yeah, so the way we've drafted it is lightly based on dark sky requirements. We took the measurements from a dark sky ordinance. The city of Boulder has a much more stringent and lengthy one. In the staff memo, I highlighted some of our adjacent municipalities, none of which have very super strict or measurable at a particular location guidelines. So trying to come up with the right amount of light that can trespass at a property with the right amount of lumens and all of those things. We used the dark sky, but we edited a lot out of it and made it just as short and simple and pointed measure. Really, the point is the measurable at a property line, so that we can enforce it.
So right now, all basically fixtures on existing homes as of this date would be grandfathered in. So basically, even though they might be, I think the definite might be non-conforming, they're acceptable. So someone complains to you now with this code, I mean, what do you do? And I guess let's say, what would you do if someone complains now having this in place?
So there's going to have to be some level of assurance, either from, if you complain about your neighbor's light, tomorrow, we'll take a picture of their light fixtures. And when those fixtures are replaced sometime later in the future, we would have knowledge of that change and be able to enforce after that. Beyond that, there just has to be I don't have a great answer. It'll just be either an honor system or photos and visual confirmation of what existed before and how it's changed.
So if there's a complaint and if you were to go out and do the measurement, I forget what it is at the property line for how many lumens, I think. If they're not in compliance, would that result in a code violation or action on the city's part to have that person change something?
I don't know. Well, can you answer that?
I don't think so. Based on the ordinance as written, it says that that compliance, it shall be brought into compliance, and that just contemplates that it will happen over time. There's no specific date. So typically, code enforcement would happen if there were, you have to come in compliance by X date. But it kind of contemplates an honor system in which folks will bring it into compliance over time. So I think that Superior, the town will monitor, but it won't be a specific stringent enforcement for these type of cases.
Okay.
At least for pre-existing non-conforming uses, not the ones that come after the March 6, 2026 date.
Okay. How about, so the fixtures are okay, grandfathered in. What if someone replaces a light bulb and it's a different lumens? Or I have a follow-up question on the lumens, but anyway, is replacing light bulbs kind of, does that fit in?
So for section E2, it kind of, it states that it should not be, the luminaire should not be used or changed in a way that increases or excavates its nonconformity. So if there is a replacement, it would need to be either consistent with what it is or to lessen the luminaire. So as written, it's non-conforming and is an issue if you change the bulbs to a way that increases or makes that lighting more, excavates it.
Okay, so I guess one suggestion I have, I brought this to in case it was interesting. 1,500 lumens is just less than a 100-watt bulb. 100-watt bulbs, about 1,600. Pass this down if you like, if it's any interest. So I guess I'd suggest that that be changed from 1,500 to 1,600, such that it just be, it seemed then like.
It's a standard size.
It'd be a standard size and wouldn't be a violation if someone put a 100-watt bulb outside. I mean, especially for, who else
Do you
is
wanna-
senior citizens here now? Being a senior citizen, I like more light. I can't see as well in the dark anymore. And so it's kind of, and I view it as a safety issue. Our entryway is very dark, so I specifically put these in to add more light there to see the door, and also there's a couple of steps there, so.
I have questions about lights that can be turned on and off. Like, I mean, if it's too bright, can we just make them turn it off at 10? Like, I just know we have timers, and at 10 o'clock, it switches from being on all the time to being motion activated. So if someone comes up, it'll turn on and they can see, but we don't leave our lights on all night. So is there something reasonable? I mean, it wouldn't mean that they'd have to switch anything. Maybe they'd have to update their light switch to be a timer.
Or a variation. I think a lot of people do just the turn their lights on at night. Like in
Yeah.
our neighborhood, a lot of people do
I
it.
think
These
a
are
lot-
designed to turn on. You can set them up to turn on at night if you want.
Just
And
that, yeah.
Basically, they turn on and off based on light or lack of light.
Yeah, well, I just think a lot of these are probably people's front porch lights, and is there a reasonable time to turn those off? Or, and I'm thinking more of like, people might have like lights all the way around their house. And then also some people, like we have some people that put lights on their fence, but then that's really helpful when I'm walking my dog, so I appreciate it. Because it's a really dark, it's really dark in the winter, and they have lights, but it's on at like 8 to 10. I don't think it's on all night. So anyway, questions?
I think we have two lights on the front of our house, one on the porch, one on the front of the garage. They're 60 watts, not 100 watts, so they're only 700 or 800 lumens, but we leave them on all night. And I actually like having, there's not many street lights, so the porch lights actually provide most of the light on the street, which I kind of like.
And to follow up with David said, probably half the homes in our neighborhood do that because there aren't that many streetlights.
Are all of your microphones on?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, yes.
I was going to say, I don't know if anyone heard Commissioner Harper's comment, but in our neighborhood, there's about 50 homes. I'd say about half leave their lights on at night because there's not much light from the streetlights.
And even during the summer, I know last summer I was walking, I mean, I can walk to the bus stop on a summer evening, and it was black basically, and so I asked Brandon Richards if he'd actually put some street lights on 4th Avenue. He said no. So I'm grateful for people who leave their lights on.
Well, I just want, like, I think part of this should be if you get a complaint. You know, someone leaving their lights in your neighborhood doesn't sound like a problem, but
All of
I
these
can
will be,
also see,
this
like-
is written to be complaint-based. We're not going to go around and
Yeah.
test at property lines, but if we receive a complaint, we will go out and test at the property line and document when that happens. And for now, it would be, documenting it at this time and then having to follow back up if
Yeah.
there's a future complaint and the light levels and the fixtures change.
I just wonder if you could have some halfway measure that if you get a complaint, that person could look at turning off their lights at like 10 or something that's a reasonable hour with their neighbor.
For the existing, I don't,
Yeah.
If the light's actually going outside the lot, so that it's in violation of the provision that it shouldn't go into a neighbor's property, I don't think it matters whether it's on or not, does it? I mean, what you're trying to stop is light going into somebody else's. That's been what the complaint's been about, basically.
Yeah, but I find it's usually light when someone's trying to sleep, which I just think like maybe if there was a clause that like either they got to conform it the next time or set a timer to turn it off.
I think, so I discussed with Nick, and he's the one that drafted this. I think that as written, it's contemplated that folks, if it's within their control, to either turn the lights off or to set a timer or to have a shield, that the ordinance as is leaves room for that. I don't know that it's explicitly required, but it does leave room for that within the ordinance as written.
Okay.
I believe.
So if there's a complaint and someone's light is clearly going on someone else's property, the town actually feels like this would give a little bit more teeth to actually ask the neighbor to at least stop the light from going onto your property. And if they're not, I don't know what goes next.
So we can make the request, but we can't enforce it. We can take that measurement right now, and if it goes up, then we can enforce it. If it stays the same or goes down, we cannot. We would just be asking neighbors to conform or come into closer conformance with the code until the time in which there was an enforcement mechanism in that they changed their fixture, they changed their bulbs and it's brighter, they upped the lighting so it's brighter at the property line, something along those lines. So the first complaint would be measure and look and see what exists. And then following complaints would either be enforceable or not enforceable, depending on whether or not the lighting changes over time.
On the businesses are currently, the businesses will have to comply with this as soon as it's adopted, presumably, will it? The thing about turning off lights off between 9 and sunrise?
So business lights, depending on where they're located, have different requirements for signage versus like exterior lighting. So I don't know if you're talking about signage, that is a different code requirement.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But our current lighting in commercial properties typically doesn't have light trespass past the property lines. Unless there's some, reason for safety purposes. But I'm not sure I'm answering your question. The commercial properties have to conform as well. They have a 3 lux maximum at the property line.
I know this is a practical issue actually, because we've had some lights on Sycamore that have been left on, although I think they're actually supposed to be off. But does the section on nighttime hours mean the signage will have to be turned off between 9 and sunrise, or not?
This does not pertain to signage, no.
Doesn't affect businesses.
There are different rules depending on the location of exterior signage.
And usually homes can't put signage on their house, huh?
For the most part, correct.
I had a friend's dad in a different town that he was doing a massage business out of his house and put his name on his house, and then he got in trouble and he said it was so he could find his way back to his house. It had his name on it. It did not light up though. But I seem that probably would be a no-no around here, signage on houses.
So one issue that's come up in our neighborhood is that people have the original lights, which had maximum wattage of, 60 watts or 100 watts or something, but they have replaced those bulbs with LED that take a smaller amount of energy but generate more light. And there are situations where some of the lights are extremely, extremely bright, and they are not the downward facing style. How would you address a situation like that? Because it's unlikely that you would take a photo of the original, like the light with the original wattage.
It would be whatever the light is at the time of a complaint after March 6th of 2026, should this code be adopted on March 6th, 2026, or
But we wouldn't be able to document that, the change, even after March 6th. You'd have to take pictures of all your neighbors' houses.
Yes, exactly. So there is no mechanism to prove what used to be or what is unless it's documented, starting, now.
And I don't know if this makes any sense at all, but would it be worth considering the original capacity of the light when it was installed, which, for many houses would be based on incandescent bulbs?
This does not talk about that. I don't know that it makes a huge difference, because if we receive a complaint, the complaint starts now, and if it's measured today, or after it goes into effect, then that amount of light, whatever the amount of light is coming from that fixture, is what's measurable, and and then it can't go up from there. So it doesn't matter what used to be, and it doesn't necessarily matter how much, the fixture itself can hold. It's more about how much is it lighting and how far is that lighting going.
Okay.
I see this: non-essential lighting shall be extinguished during nighttime hours. How do you enforce that?
Well, it's defined.
Non-essential lighting is decorative or aesthetic outdoor lighting that's not necessary for the safety or security of individuals and property, including without limitation landscape lighting, decorative lighting, illuminated signage, or advertising after business hours, and facade lighting.
Well, that's the bit I was asking about businesses for.
But, so,
And is
This
that
would-
everyone's Christmas lights?
No, because they have an exception.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
The illuminated signage that's talked about here applies on non-PD planned development zoned districts. So within PDs, we would look to the PD first to figure out how signs are to be lit. The illumination hours are based on what's allowed in the zoning district. And then the signage lighting that we have in town doesn't typically cross a property line. It has shields on it that prevent the actual light from crossing a property line for the most part. And then if it was not in a plan to development, it would need to conform to different code standards that are written in the sign illumination section of the code.
I thought I saw a section somewhere that said you could have individual lights of 70 lumens, which between December the 15th and January the 15th.
There, number 3.
Oh,
C3.
That's Christmas lights.
Holiday lights, yeah.
Oh, yes, got it. Oh.
January 15th, not a day later.
So back up to the non-essential lights. So what are examples of lights that are necessary for safety or security? Is that like porch lights, garage lights, or?
Yes. Garage lights, porch lights, lighting particular areas.
So that is kind of saying that you could leave those on all night. Is that then a correct interpretation?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like those would be on the front of your house?
They can be on the front or the back. They can be in the eaves or on your porch, depending on what the purpose of the lighting is. Like, is it for safety or is it for aesthetics?
Okay.
Is it lighting an area where you walk or people come in and out? Or is it lighting, your landscaping or a tree or the facade of your house in a particular way?
Quite a lot of the houses in our neighborhood now have ADUs, so I can imagine people putting lights outside the back door to connect the ADU garage with the house.
Yeah.
And again, it's more about how much light is passing at the property line.
So seems like big picture looking at this is really geared towards future construction and development, and like all the opportunity or any construction that occurs there has to comply, and then you have more teeth to make them comply.
Yes.
Both after the fact and during plan review.
And anywhere we receive complaints and take notes, and if that lighting changes over time, then it would be enforceable.
And the town must have some sort of device to measure light.
We do,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
You can also, there's like, if you were curious, there's apps to download, on your phone. It may not be like perfectly accurate, but you can download things on your phone and measure light.
Okay.
Okay,
There's still, Marina left.
well,
Never
Marina
mind.
has left us. Since Ryan is still here, why don't we ask him if he's got anything he'd like to say? Ryan?
My only thoughts about this is that the conversation about a certain time at night is difficult because certain people work off hours, and it's hard to define when bedtime is for someone, right? So 10 o'clock could be 2 hours after someone was going to bed if they have to be up at 4 a.m. The other consideration would be like, I have a hot tub in my backyard and I like to use it at night, and I don't want, it's pretty miserable when my neighbor's lights are shining in. So there's other reasons besides just sleeping that I think for this light issue. But otherwise, hearing the spirit of what it's trying to solve, it sounds reasonable to me.
Thank you. I wondered about the nighttime hours because it's often defined as between sunset and sunrise rather than between 9 p.m. and sunrise. And was there a reason you picked 9 p.m. or did it just seem like a good time?
I think 9 p.m. is just a standard evening hour where our noise becomes less and lighting becomes less. Like, I'm not tied to that time. It was just a consistent time in our code for like nighttime.
And as someone who walks their dogs regularly, like, people are out until about 9, and then it becomes rare to run into people.
Unless they got those really yappy dogs and then they walk them very late at night.
Well, I do have a reactive dog, and I try to walk her late. I know, we're going to stop my princess.
I didn't mean to call attention to her. She's
Good,
lovely.
but she's very,
part of the
we
family.
call her aggressively friendly. But like, in the winter, it can get dark at like 4. Like,
Yeah.
so we need light, night, evening light for a while. And then after a certain time, most people are
Okay.
inside.
Not pushing it.
Commissioner Barnes, you got me with the box. That made me double check. So then I pulled up a chart, a lumens to watts conversion chart on voltlighting.com. So yeah, it says right here, like incandescent watts, like a 100-watt replacement bulb would make 1,600 lumens. Like this says, the next downgrade, I think in the old-fashioned way, would be like a 75 watt incandescent bulb, which would release 1,100 lumens. So given what we see here, and is that 1,500 based on Dark Sky Guide? Yeah, so that's just kind of a standard set. So essentially.
Yeah, it was part of it and I didn't change it. But there's things in here that I'm not tied to. It's just more along the lines of the measurement at the property line is really the important piece. And
I bring it up because it actually makes sense to me that it would be then 1,500 in the Dark Sky Guide, because it would just essentially say, hey, do a 75 watt, not a 100 watt.
Well,
if it's gonna spill.
Yeah,
you know?
I also, even a 1,600 should be at 1,500 by the time it hits the property lines.
Right, especially
Like-
depending on the structure of the luminaire and how it's actually shielded right at the source, and then how far it has to get over. So
It doesn't make it that, I only experienced this with my train stations, and those paths have to be lit to a certain level, and I don't know how they do it, but a lot of times they'll come in later and we got to add a whole bunch more lights because they're, the stairs have to be lit more than the walkways and that kind of stuff. So the light, when you're trying to get at a certain level, is actually hard to hit.
so
The inverse square.
I Googled how much light is 1 lux. And the AI overview says that it's equivalent to the light from a full moon or clear night, approximately, or it represents 1 lumen of light spread evenly over 1 square meter surface. It's just enough to identify objects or read, but far dimmer than indoor office lighting. Light from a full moon on a clear night.
Pull out your phone and see what lumens we're at right now.
I don't have the app on my phone.
Yeah, please do that.
So I guess my thinking on this, back to this, as long as if you use a 1,600 lumen light bulb, as long as you meet the 1 lux standard, isn't that okay? And then it's, and then the number's tied to a standard light, not
Actually,
some, I don't know what the 1,500 means.
I don't think it is on future construction.
Sorry?
I don't think 1,600 would be as acceptable on future construction because.
He's saying to
As written.
change.
I'm suggesting we
you
change
want
it
to
to
change it.
1,600, so a 100 watt
Oh, yeah.
bulb would be
Yeah.
okay.
Either that or whatever a 75 is, just something that matches with the light bulb.
Yeah, I don't think there is a 75 in LED. It goes
No,
down
I
to
think it
65
goes
for
60
some
It
reason.
goes 60 to 100, I think. It
Or
goes
I was
40,
gonna say
60.
65, yeah.
Is it 65?
I think so. Something,
think I'll
yeah,
get
there's
60.
nothing in
Yeah,
between.
because right now with
my
the
chart
15
here says there's 30, 60, 75, and 100, then 150. Definitely don't want 150. That's 2,600 lumens.
But right now it's worded where you can only have a 95 watt bulb or something like that.
Or whatever. It's
Yeah.
it's not even available, so why? 1,500 makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, I think it does make sense because it's not possible. Like, right? Like if you have a 75 watt bulb, there's no problem. If you got a 100 watt bulb, you might get into some trouble if it's doing a bunch of other things too, if it's trespassing in the right way. That's why I like keeping it at 1,500, aligned with the dark sky policy.
I'll tell you, Ryan, why we did that. Our entry to our house, it's very, very dark because we got a roof and stuff over there. And our neighborhood, as they will tell you, is probably all seniors. And if they come over at night, I want it to be really well lit up, and we got a couple of steps there, so that's there. That light is great, and it's not spilling over to the neighbors, so that's why. And then if I don't have that, then I'm down to 65 watts, which is a lot less.
And I think I was thinking the same thing you were, because I'm thinking of my porch. I've got my stoop and up into my porch. That light that I have up there is 100 watt, and there's no way it can spill into anyone's area because it's in a portico. So
And this literally says you can't have a 100 watt light bulb.
That's basically what that's written.
The code as written says that.
If the 1,500 is closer to the 1,600 than it is to the 75
Yeah.
watt one, right? So
Yeah, I think it should be adjusted to
if
1600.
we're going, I mean, clearly the town code was probably written back in the days when there was incandescent light bulbs and you could get all kinds of different.
Yeah.
I
Or
think
I
that
would be-
1,500 is kind of in line with what Ryan was saying. You can't, like,
Well, I feel.
The point was not to allow the 100-watt light bulbs
Yeah.
in the dark sky code, and so this is, this
Okay.
was taken from the dark sky code.
All right, well, I'm okay saying that as long as there's an exception for the porch light. The one by your front entrance can be 100 watt for
Well,
safety. Because usually those are like enclosed somewhere, they're the ones by your farther away, like those don't need to be as bright, but like people walking, especially with stairs. I don't know. I think 100 watt with stairs is
I'm
not an
really
unreasonable
too worried
ask.
about porch lights. Does anybody know what those strip lights that people are using as architectural features are now? I mean, you can get things that look like the old fluorescent bulbs that now they're about 3 feet long. They sit on the outside of houses and they shine back towards the wall of the house. Those are the things that have been producing complaints, actually.
Yeah, again.
I guess my point on that, there's dark spots all around somebody's house, and if you're really there for security, you want it as bright as possible. And then I'd fall back to, we've got the standard of the 1 lux to not cross over another person's property. So it seems like even if you use 100, but you're still meeting that standard, which is really the ultimate thing we're trying to achieve, why not allow a 100-watt bulb?
I would agree. This particular bulb that you picked up is available in a 60-watt equivalent and a 100-watt equivalent.
There's nothing in between.
There's nothing in between. And 60, that's a
Yeah.
really big difference in brightness.
Yeah.
So I just think in terms of aligning with what is readily available for purchase, the 1600 mark will give people more flexibility on choosing the lights that they want.
Yeah, I think the point of the dark sky is not to have any 100 watt. I don't know why they just clipped it off at 100 less, but I don't think that's reasonable for porch lighting with stairs.
Yeah,
I'm happy
we've
to
got a
change it.
garage spot. We've got the light at one side of our garage is important for lighting a path. And I feel like in that spot, we need significant light as well, like you would on a front porch.
Okay.
Just the way it happens to be configured.
Yeah.
And the other thing, pulling the senior card, which is true, seniors are not as steady as younger people, and not being able to see it well tonight is really more of a hazard. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is. There's a lot of our
Yeah.
neighbors we're worried about. And that's one of the reasons we put these brighter bulbs in there.
I think I should technically have closed this public hearing long ago, since we got past listening to the presentation and got into the discussion.
Playing it loose.
Can I close it now, Bree? Okay. Public hearing is closed. Now we can have some, what have we had as, I mean, Mike would like to amend this, obviously, to make it 100, 1600 lumen.
Yeah.
Are you in favor of 1600? I mean, I'll just take a straw poll.
Yeah.
Are you in favor of 1600?
Yes, I just have a little concern with it being used like everywhere. But I guess the Lux thing would prevent that.
I only have 60 watts on my, no, I think I have 260 watts outside my porch, so it's not going to be used everywhere, just somewhere. Brian?
I'm trying to, as quickly as I can, read through dark sky policy and who they are and why they're doing this, and they're saving the turtles, so it's awesome.
Turtles. Spirit.
So can I add one more point to that? This is really going to only apply to the opportunity areas, so we're not really looking at a lot of difference. In terms of dark sky compliance, there's no way Superior's ever going to achieve it because of everything that's already been built and is grandfathered in, so.
I don't think Boulder comes close to complying with dark sky anymore. There's just far too many city lights and business lights. I mean, if you're outside Boulder, you can see Boulder from miles away.
Yeah, but I mean, all the new street lights now are down facing. Like I think for us, it's the birds. It's no turtles.
It's birds.
It's the birds, right?
But the birds like migratory and I don't know, some stuff like that.
So Zaharias, if it develops, will be dark sky compliant.
Well,
And that's what they want, yeah.
My neighborhood has 2 streetlights and they've replaced the tops with the downward.
Oh,
So I think the town is complying with the dark sky. And so and houses like mine that turn it off at 10. I'm just saying that I don't think it's a completely lost cause.
Right.
Okay, it's not a lost cause. Anne, what do you think?
I appreciate the interest in the dark sky, but individual situations have safety requirements. And knowing that some bulbs are not going to be available in a large number of increments, I feel like that 1,500 mark could really limit people's choices. Whereas from the percentage of light from 1,500 to 1,600 is pretty small. And a 100-watt equivalent is an easy bulb to find. So I guess I would lean towards 1,600. My night vision is not as good as it was when I was younger, just for the record.
I think you can speak for all of us.
yes, you can.
actually.
We're all that way, yes.
Well, maybe not.
Well, I'm
Ryan.
not sure all of us.
All the seniors are that way, yeah. It's a pretty safe statement.
So, okay, do we have any more questions? I guess that's, do we have any more questions we'd like to ask Renee?
Just, is this covering all the types of complaints you get? I just want to know if there's any like unique complaints you're getting that we haven't thought about.
No, I think you've touched on all of the types of complaints we've received over the course of the last several years. They're signage lighting, architectural lighting, time of lighting, and then just excessively bright lights that people feel cross property lines. So you've touched on all of those things.
In that case, would somebody like to make a motion that we make a recommendation to the town council that they adopt the new lighting standards with the provision that the 1,500 lumen limit be increased to 1,600 lumens to accommodate the current situation with respect to LED bulbs?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
I'll
Sorry? You'll second it.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay. Can we call for a vote?
Chairman Harper?
Yes.
I do this. Vice Chair Mojo?
Yes.
Commissioner Vaughn?
Yes.
Commissioner Barnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Shanahan?
Yes.
All right. Recommendation is to replace 1,500 with 1,600 lumen and recommend approval.
Yes. I take your point about dark skies, but I have a feeling that dark skies are pretty challenging anywhere at the moment. I mean, you know, the city of Boulder has that lighted star up on the hill.
Go back.
Probably between December the 15th and January. I mean, you can see cities from miles away.
Right.
Particularly if you're flying into them.
But I get that,
Do y'all
yeah, his.
That's not an excuse
have
to make
more
it
to
worse.
talk about? We
Right.
voted
No,
on
yeah, no,
that.
I hear you.
David?
That's a whole different.
Sorry?
We're still on the meeting. We voted, so that is done.
We need updates.
Oh, do you have any updates?
Like, the meeting is still going.
Yes. Well, we didn't adjourn, so it's still going.
I really don't have too many updates, just that we're waiting on the food hall to come back, and we'll bring that to you as soon as it's ready. You should receive an email inviting you to the groundbreaking for Kite Route. It's on March 4th at 11 o'clock at the Civic Space. And if you don't get an email sometime this week-ish, let me know. But you should. And anyone else who's interested, who's listening, is welcome to come. You can email me and I will get you an invitation.
Is the public going to be invited?
The public is not really invited. They're just,
Okay.
I just wasn't sure. I think Brian is still there if he's interested in joining Planning Commission. But
Since I never check my email.
I don't know that it went today.
I'm just going to put it. When is it again? I'll just. put it in
March
my
4th
March.
at 11.
That's a Monday, isn't it?
It is, no.
That's right, it's a Wednesday. Normally I would be delighted to come to that, except they happen to have chosen a time when I'm having a CAT scan, so it might be a little difficult.
It's fun for you. No, that's terrible. This coming Monday, the council will review another update to the comprehensive plan based on their comments last week. I wanted to thank Anne. She wrote down lots of things, and you'll notice that it's mostly taken from exactly what you gave me for now until it gets tweaked. And, for now, it's just like it's entered in there. It doesn't look spectacularly beautiful in any way, shape, or form, but the information is all there to see if we're getting to what they're looking for. We'll ask them to, if they want to adopt it or not, this coming Monday. What else?
Any more word about Bixby's?
Nothing that I've heard recently. Ellen continues to follow up, the manager. That's all I got.
Nothing on life sciences either, I assume.
Nope.
When do you think we'll be meeting again?
Oh.
Got one more code thing you
Yeah,
said?
there is one more land use code update that I'd like to bring on March 3rd. So we'll meet March 3rd, and if we don't have the food hall ready, then we won't meet the third Tuesday of March. But hopefully we have a food hall by then. I know. I've decided that we're just going to meet all at the beginning of the year, and then maybe we won't have like every other week meetings after March. I would very much like that to go back
Do with all my time.
But yes, March 3rd, I'd like to hold a meeting to review one more land use code update pertaining to PD amendments.
Okay. Is there any reason we shouldn't adjourn? Hearing none, we're adjourned.
Wow, less than an hour?
I didn't.
Recording stopped.